And this morning, joining us for our special conversation on Boss Lady CEO. You know, when she entered the studio, I could feel that, yeah, this one is a boss. You know, there are some kind of bosses that, like, you want to go to work to see. Well, This one is one. She has the history of being a trailblazer when it comes to female aircraft marshalling. Being the first woman in Ghana to hold the prestigious position as a female aircraft marshaller. And you know, beyond her pioneering role in aviation, you remember Kiss Up Concert Party? She was a producer of that all-important show in the lives of many Ghanaians. Today, guess what? She's the Municipal Chief Executive for Tema West Municipality. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Felicia Edem Attipoe to Asaase Radio, to the Asaase Breakfast Show, and to the Boss Lady CEO segment. Felicia, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I mean, when I was reading your profile and I saw the key soap concept, I was like, everything else can rest. You know? How did you get into that space? I mean, let's start off from there. Key soap concert party.
Okay, so thank you so much.
I'm happy you are laughing to start with.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me here. I'm so honored, humbled, and very grateful. And first of all, I want to thank the President for giving me such an opportunity to serve, and also to my Municipal Assembly and my Assembly members for the trust they have in me, for bringing me this far. In fact, it was 100%. I didn't have any issue. So I say thank you to them and my PM. And today I take this opportunity to greet my regional minister, Honorable Titus Glover. I say congratulations for the confirmation. And then I also greet my mother, my political mother, Honorable Frema Opare, the
Chief of Staff.
The Chief of Staff, the first female Chief of Staff. So you know I go with female ladies. And also to Madam Irina Toshi. I call her the strong woman with a golden heart. I greeted this morning. And to Tema West people, my constituency executives, my PC, Dennis Amfu, Sefa, Nana Boachi. I greet all of them. And to my cherished listeners, I say good morning. My life as National Theatre. You see, I started school at my secretarial at Social Advance.
Oh, you attended Social Advance?
I attended Social Advance, and it's now Accra schools. The name has changed.
My mother attended Social Advance too. My mother.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So anytime I was living in Bemakam, so anytime I was going to school, I get down at the National Theatre and then walk to Social Advance. At that time, we were putting up National Theatre. And anytime I'm going up, I'll say, this place, I'll one day work here. That is what I always say. So I was going, and it was so beautiful. And there was a security man there. In fact, he's still there. He's called Efoyima. And then I'll greet him. And I'll say, good morning. Every time I greet him. So we became friends. Then one day, I asked that if he wouldn't mind taking me around the theater. So one day he took me around, and then I said, I wish to do my attachment here. So he took me to William Ado Apache, his office. He was the operation director. And she said, "Oh, this is my daughter. She wants to do her attachment here." He says, "Why not?" At that time, we had started concert party. So I worked with him as a secretary. And then quickly, we started producing concert party. Seaboy, Bobo Kala, Incomode, and then the concert, the drama troupe was this man, Acrobato.
Acrobato, yeah.
Yes, Acrobato, and then the others, so we started, and we had the Acrobato. You see the cantata.
Yes.
Cantata, is it cantata?
No, is it cantata? No. Cantanka. Cantanka, yes.
So that's where I think Acrobato was part. So then that was the drama troupe.
Yes, Apostle Safu.
Yes.
Apostle Safu, yes.
Apostle Safu, yes. Kujo Safu. Yes, he had a drama troupe.
Yes.
So that was where we all started, and so I was a secretary. Then I moved to the production team, and we started. So I was an assistant producer.
Wow.
With Anastasia Gbenyega. I'm sure she's listening, yes. And then we work with the likes of Honorable Jifagumashi.
Yes.
Irene Opari. I mean, a lot. David Donto.
Yeah.
They were all there. ABB Roma was there, and then and so many. Symphony Orchestra. That's where we all started.
Mr. Ando,
thank you. And that's where we all started.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was you just being excited about a new edifice that had been constructed.
Exactly.
And saying, I'll work here. And you went straight to the security man and asked for a tour.
Yes.
And he obliged you.
Yes.
He said it's called Efo what?
Efo He's still there.
Efo is still there.
Efo is still there.
Wow.
Still there, yeah.
And you ended up being part of the pioneers of Keysop Concert Party.
Yes.
Right from the start.
It was really, really fun.
But, of course, the story didn't start from you attending social advance and becoming assistant producer at the National Theatre producing Keysop Concert Party. You started from somewhere. I mean, who were your parents? Where were you born? How was your beginning life like?
So my late parents, my father was the late Lieutenant Attipoe. I'm a barracks girl, born and bred in Bema Camp. We are 4. I have 3 siblings.
Wait, you said your father's name is what?
Lieutenant Attipoe. Attipoe, yes.
I see.
He was at Ops and Plans. I remember his number is GH1153.
GH1153.
That is Lieutenant Colonel Attipoe.
That's right.
That's it. And my mother is Almighty Mrs. Constance Ohui Attipoe, aka CO.
That's right.
No.
She was the commanding officer.
She was a commanding officer. And my childhood was fun.
Wow.
Adventures. I was the most naughtiest, kid. It was interesting. my childhood was so interesting. I could, trying to dribble my parents here and there, because my mom was very, very strict. She'll tell you, I'm your mother, I'm your friend.
That's right.
You understand? And so we my other siblings were quiet. My elder sister was so quiet. She didn't want trouble. And every trouble in the house is Edem.
That's right.
That was how it is. When you want somebody climbing trees, it's Edem. Roaming about, it's Edem. People come and say, your child came to my house and he has broken my coffee table.
It's Edem.
And one funny thing is, when I go out, I go and roam mine. When I come, when we're kids, we have this aquanchere we're doing. When you're coming, they will beat you. You take broom, put one here, one in the middle, and then one here. And then you walk back 3 times. And then you throw stone here, throw stone there. And then you walk backwards onto the door, and then you turn 3 times before you knock the door. It's assumed that you will not be beaten.
You still remember this?
It's assumed that you will not be beaten. So, sometimes they beat me well.
See you.
See you will not spare you. Sometimes, too, I go scot-free.
I see.
So it was so much fun. very advanced.
So was your basic school at the Forces Basic School?
Yes, I went to Forces. The one at Reki.
Okay.
Then I went to Air Force.
Mm.
Then from there, I went to Ola Girls.
Oh, you went to Ola Girls?
Yes, I'm a Puga.
No surprises at all. You know, when you entered, I was like, you look ravishing. I mean, Ola Girls, they put themselves very well.
Yes. It's a very good school. Yeah. I mean, it's not all about education, but we are being molded to perfection. Yes. And I mean, hit it hard. Go for it.
I'm sure, I mean, during your days in Forces and then subsequently to, I mean, you went to Air Force.
Yes, I went to Air Force.
Basic school as well. This was your very troublesome period in your life. How different did that become when you went to Ola Girls?
It wasn't different. I mean, when you're looking for the most, call Felicia Edem Attipoe, and everybody knows me, but I don't know them. I mean, when I went to school, when you went to the Jama leaders,
that's right.
That is me. I can shoot Jama like 3 hours continuous, non-stop.
Energy.
The energy. So when we are going home and we have buses, and then we are going home, everybody wants me to be in the bus. From Ho to Accra, you be sleeping. I'll start.
RJ.
So you wake up, and I will do it till we meet. When we go to Interco, it was serious.
That's right.
Yes, but I did sports too, and I was into Gunza. I was an executive. YCS. I was an executive.
Hey.
I was in the choir. I was in everything. I mean, when you come to the activities, I was everywhere.
A proper extrovert.
I mean, making noise at the dining hall. And let me tell you, I quite remember one time went to the dining hall and like we shouldn't eat with our hands. So I was just saying, I mean, I'm stubborn. So I was eating with my hand, and Felicia Edem come to the high table. I just walked there, and then they said, "Okay, you are eating with your hand, so start waving the ladle." And it's so embarrassing when you have to be waving the ladle. And then I stood on the table and I started dancing with the ladle. I go down, I go up.
Hey.
And the whole assembly hall, yay. It was serious. So quickly, even the headmistress had to come. And then quickly I was mixed away, everybody has to calm down. And I was given like 3 weeks washing of dining hall rules.
You became a pantry girl.
I became a pantry girl. But it was fun. I mean, the kitchen women liked me. I'll make you laugh. I like to dance. I'm washing up. I mean, every little thing, I take opportunity. If you think you're hurting me, I take opportunity of that. I make you feel that, look, you're not hurting me, but I'm making fun out of it. I'll be dancing, and and the Jama was there, and dancing, and then washing the dining hall bowls, and the kitchen women would be laughing. And by the time you realize I'm washing with them.
Wow.
Yes, so that was the sort of person I am.
Wow. What, did you ever become a prefect?
No. I tried that. As a prophet, don't give me. So I rather got solicited, the entertainment side, the Gunza and YCS, where we go for fanfare in other schools.
Exactly. Gunza, they like that thing.
Yes, in other schools.
The Ghana United Nations Student Association.
Exactly.
Chilling. Gunza, Wildlife, YCS, chilling.
We go to Bishop Herman. We go to
Mauli.
We go to Spaco.
Spaco, yes. St. Paul's.
St. Paul's.
Yeah.
Pando, Pansek.
Yeah.
And then one of the fun was when we go to Grotto.
Grotto, yeah.
Yeah. So I had to get my way into the choir. Because Grotto, we go to choir.
Yeah.
We go to Grotto, and then the choir has to go. And, yeah.
So where the chilling is, that's where you are?
That's where I am.
I see. Yes. But so now you've moved on from Ola Girls. Was that when you went to Social Advance?
Yeah, that's why I went to Social. I had 2 options: to go to the training college and then go to secretariat. But I did business, and my parents were such that, especially my mother, she felt that we should have skills, something to hold on to. So it's not like you finish, go to sixth form, go to the university. But some way, somehow, she felt that we should have some skills. So my other sister, my mother was a teacher. I can't teach. I'll beat you and kill you. So, but my mother, she was the one who dictates for you. So I was able to convince my dad that I prefer to go to the secretarial school.
Okay.
Because I wanted to work. I wanted to be a secretary. I wanted to wear the short skirt,
I see.
the suits. So I did shorthand typing, and the business, the French. So I went to secretarial school as social
advance. Yeah.
Then that is where things started dropping. When I started my attachment at National Theatre, I was pregnant. I didn't know. This chilling year.
Oh.
I was pregnant and I didn't know until 8 months. Yes. Until 8 months. So I was roaming and all that. And I think during it was another story, interesting story altogether. So I was doing my attachment. And then when my grandmother came, my mother was depressed because I had lost my dad. And my mother was really, really depressed. And that is where, I also had to find my way out of doing those stuff. And then my grandmother came and said, look, I look pregnant. And I was so close to my mom. I was bathing with her. I was sleeping with her. When I'm in my menstrual flow, she knows. She was like, I know. How can I then be pregnant? 2 weeks ago, I gave her money to go and buy pad. So what is it? My mother became very furious. But deep down, I know, Charlie, things are happening. You know the funny thing? My mother then, she thought I was a virgin. Because the woman was so straight and,
we're titi.
So I had those times was times that you go to the hospital and then when you go for lab, you take your urine in the morning.
Yeah. And
3 days time, you get your results. So I had to look for somewhere to get the lab done, and I was pregnant, and it was terrible for my mother, and I did also don't know the month the pregnancy was, and I had to quickly take the pregnancy out. So I went to one of these, Shewaga girls. Call them Shewaga.
Yeah.
The slay ones, those who know what's up. Some said I should drink Guinness with gin. And then go for chloroquine shots. I did. And this baby will not come out. Some said I should hit my stomach to, tables because they did this. And it came for about 1 hour. I was hitting my stomach. This baby won't come. So then finally somebody showed me a clinic that look, as for this doctor, when the pregnancy is 6 months, he can terminate it for you. So I needed money. And my mother too, so depressed. Sometimes she wants to go to church, she won't go to church, Presbyterian. She gave me her tithe book. Gave me the money to go and pay the tithe when I go to church.
Hey!
I took.
Wait, church? Was it Arakan?
No, I went to Arakan. I was a church organist at Arakan.
I see.
Yeah, I was a young organist at Arakan. Who was that Arakan Methodist?
Yeah.
Mr. Klebman or something. I think he's passed. So I know. So this one was at Sakumono when we had moved.
Okay. Is it Hope?
No, this one is Anointed.
Anointed, okay.
You know the hood.
Oh, we've been around. We've been around.
So I took the book, took the money, and then signed from my mother. I signed that she has paid the tithe, and I went to give the book back to her.
Charlie. Now you are different. As we say, your own is different.
So I took the money, and I went to the clinic. My brother, when I went, the girls that were lined up for abortion that morning by 6 a.m., you had no idea. As at 6:45, I was the number 25. I remember.
6:45 a.m.
I was the number 25.
At the clinic?
At the clinic. Somewhere in Cantonment. I remember.
To evacuate the uterus?
To evacuate it. So I went. They mention the name. They mention the names next, and when they come, you hold them. You know, it's anesthesia those times. So then you hold the girls, you put them in another house. Some were vomiting. Hey, God, am I going to die? I'll die you. Then when we went, it was my turn finally. That was around 8:15 a.m. I remember. So you can just imagine from that time to 8, he had cleared everybody. Fast.
24.
Thank you. So I lie down. First we sat down, he collected my name, my details and everything. And then he said, well, lie down. He touched the tongue. He said, they use that thing those times.
For ultrasound.
Yeah, for ultrasound. I said, madam, come. How old is the pregnancy? I said, I don't know. Hey, this one day when I take it off, you die. Come, what is your problem? I said, I don't want the baby. One thing that he said that has kept me, he said that, go face the consequences and have this baby. You will never regret it. And then he gave me the money. And I left. Straight to Papa Osu. Went to buy biscuits, everything, drink.
You still didn't go to pay the tithes?
For the money there. Then you have to think about how to bring the news to my mother. And I told my mother, it was a sad day for her. She knelt down, cried, and asked God for forgiveness. That she had betrayed God. You know, she was very prayerful. A woman who prays for hours. And a day. If you want my history, just go and stand at my door, my mother's window, and you hear my story 1 hour. And then my daughter, the fornicator. Yesterday, a white car came. Yesterday, another one, a blue car came. Oh God, forgive my daughter. Just said that is the type of. So if you want my history and the history of every child, just
during a prayer time,
come and listen. Even how I was born, come and listen. That was the type of mother I had. I believe that prayers have kept us. So she couldn't stand it. She couldn't. So she moved me to my grandmother's place at Medina, and I was still doing attachments.
At Social Advance. A National Theatre.
And that was where Pa Willie Akpache. I went to tell her I was pregnant. And she said, "Say your pot pona obewa would be near baby."
Wow.
That's what she told me.
William Ado
Akpache.
The infantipin man.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a butcher guy.
Yeah. He was acting those the National Thursday Theatre.
Yeah.
So together with William Ado, Anastasia Benyega, and then Patricia Aka.
Yeah.
These were the people who were my friends. Who held me close, and every day I come to where you buy, because attachment they were not paying. They buy food for you to eat and all that. And then one day, I still didn't know how the month. So I went to antenatal the first time. They said, "Oh, I said, madam, intino, corner bra next week, never who doctor." The next week I was in labor.
Wow.
I didn't even know. Because every time I was having my menstrual flu, so the labor came with like menses, sort of. And I told my grandmother, we've not bought anything. So my uncle's wife has delivered a boy and a very big baby. So they gave me the baby clothes. And then I went to Mambobi Polyclinic. And that place, when you go for antenatal, that is where you sit down, pray. They tell you that when you go for delivery, it's 2 things: you die or you not. You come up alive. They teach us so many things: how to keep your nails short, sex styles. So I loved it, you know. So I was going to sit there. And I was in labor, and I would sit there and listen to all this. When I realized the pain was severe, I went to tell the nurse. And I was given a note to give her. "Wait, Jimmy, you are in labor. Come." I got there. I delivered a baby girl. And my daughter comes here every time if I mention her name.
Really?
Yes. Guinness manager.
What's the name? Wilma.
Yes. I'm Wasai.
I see.
and she works at Guinness. This same Guinness that I had to.
So you are going to take this Guinness to terminate?
I even took it,
but it didn't work.
It didn't work. And
it wasn't intended to work.
It wasn't intended to work. So that life brought me down. Now I had a baby. I had to take care of my baby. I was staying with my grandmother. I was working attachment without pay. It was rough. That was where my grandmother taught me how to live a low life. We buy tea bag, Lipton. I use it for 2 weeks.
So you don't soak it once and throw it away.
Yeah. When you are soaking it, you don't put oil into it too.
That's right.
You do it 1, 2, 3, then you take it and then you dry it.
Madina live by plan.
Thank you. You dry it. When you dry the following day too, you do that. So when you put it in the water, you don't see anything, then you throw it out. So when you come and see my Lipton on the wall and you take it out, I'll kill you. We eat Gary. And at the point, my daughter's favorite was Gary. Sometimes I just pour it in the bowl as if Odidiago. Eat it. Wame. Wow. So that was the kind of life I was leading. Unfortunately, I was a church organist. So when I play the keyboard, they give me some allowances.
Shabo.
Thank you. Then I would use it to take care of it. I did that for 3 years. And fortunately or unfortunately, when National Theatre regularized
your engagement,
I became a permanent staff. Less than 3 months, I was fired. So I came back home, and my grandfather helped me to get a job at Benza Limited, not Kanishi.
And for those of you who are just tuning in, we are talking to Felicia Edem Attipoe. She's the Municipal Chief Executive for the Tema West Municipality this morning on Boss Lady CEO. And she's told us about her beginnings up until this point where she's already had a child. And just when fortune found her and got her employment regularized, 3 months subsequent at the National Theatre, she got to be fired.
Yes. So... and they gave me my dismissal letter. That dismissal letter was my love letter. Anytime I'm sleeping, I read it, I cry, and put it under my pillow. That's what I was doing.
And then you sleep.
And then I sleep.
Bedtime story.
And then my grandfather helped me to get a work at Benza Limited. And so from Madina to Circle to North Kanishi. I get to North Kanishi Circle, I walk to North Kanishi. Sometimes walk to Circle, sometimes walk to 37, take Tetekwashi, or sometimes walk to Tetekwashi. And when I'm walking, I'll be counting the cars and telling myself, one day me, I will drive this car.
That's
one
right.
day me. So when I'm walking, I'm thinking about the good things of life. You know, by the time you realize I'm there. But when I was in National Theatre, I applied for civil aviation. And I put civil aviation. That was where I applied. And it took me like 5 years before they called me. So I was at Benza. But I had a friend who was working at National Civil Aviation. She's now in the US, Patricia Jemai. And we're going to the same church. So I keep telling her, I have applied. In fact, the dictionary, the telephone directory, the big one, yellow.
Yes, the yellow one.
Was my Bible. So I type, those they use the typewriter.
Yes.
So I have my CV and my application playing. So when I open, I'll just use pen. Space phone. I've gone for interview at space phone. I'm going to Ghana Water. Just say, they'll call you for the interview, but don't
call you subsequently.
Don't take you. So the letters I had playing, it was my Bible. Instead of reading my Bible, I was reading that, looking through the companies in it. So one day I was at Benza Limited. And then I didn't go to church for like 2 Sundays. And then one Monday, I didn't want to go to the office because I'm break. Working, sir. And I wanted the best for my daughter.
Your daughter, yeah.
So I took her to social welfare school. It's at social welfare, Medina. Social welfare.
Yeah.
And the fees was like twice my salary. So I went to tell them I can't pay 3 months. I rather pay every month. So when they give me every month, I have to go and pay. Sometimes I default. And so when I take it, was so tiny. So when I wait, when I get to the gate, push, go. Then I run away. And when you say small girl walking like that, you can't sack her.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing. When they close, then the security man was my party. So I said, look, and you know what I was using to coin the security man? Kiss so concert party invitation. Then I get her. Then she gets some small girls and she go with them. So she was my party. I'm a politician now. So that's why she gave me, like, she also, sometimes when I go in the morning and she's not there, then I push my daughter. When she's there, she takes my daughter. So the teachers didn't like me at all.
But the security man liked you.
She would give me all the filler. Mami won't pay us and take pia banity. And Fino, we pay us, we say she gives me all the filler. So that was actually what guided me. So one day I went to work, very tired. I feel now I've had my bread. I want to stop this job. But that day something said, go. So when I went, I put my head on it when the phone rang. At the moment, yeah, interview or civil aviation. You're having an interview at civil aviation.
And this was Patricia Ajiman.
Patricia Ajiman, where are you? You are number 10 and you are number 6. Where are you? I've been looking for you. Your letter is with me. And when I went to church Sunday, somebody gave me this number. So come quickly. Hey! I said, I don't have money. You get money here. When you go for interview, they give you money.
So you're coming from North Kanishi?
North Kanishi.
To come to airport?
To come to airport. And quickly, I was able to get somebody, one of the loaders, to give me some money. And then went to the airport. When I got there, truly, I think the last person had gone in. So my friend, I was, you know those times when we have permin, you don't use the correct permin cream. Your hair becomes brown. Hey, my hair was all brown. My dress was dirty. My foot was dirty.
It's one nantiache.
My bread. So she said, come. And she took me to the washroom, powdered my face, gave me a lip gloss, my shoe. I see now why. She gave me her shoes to wear. It was big though. And then she said, go and sit down. So they called me in. And I knew that, Jack, it was the same old story, same old interview. So this one, hey, I'm not going to be the gentle person, whatever it is. So when I sat there, how are you? They started. So when they started, they asked me, you have a child. 3 years. Hey, madam, how old are you? I mentioned my age. They said, I said, please, it was a mistake. They said, no, don't say it's a mistake. So then the conversation started. Then we started with talking. And then they asked me a question. After they had asked all the ladies, supposing you come to the office and your boss start to touch you, what will you do? And I said, me dear, when I like my boss, I tell my boss to touch me. And everybody started laughing. And will they touch you in the office? And I said, no. Lunchtime, we go to the hotel. And they're like, who is this girl? You go to a hotel. I said, we go to the hotel to go and that's why we go to a hotel to go and do it. So what about if you don't like it? I said, I'll find a way of telling my boss that I don't like it. And they said, okay, we have attitude test for you. That was the interview. We have attitude test for you. And what did they ask? So how much will you be paid? I said, my pay those days was like 1 cedi 50 pesos. So that is what I managed. So anything you give me, I'll take. I knew they were not taking
15,000
those days. And they said, okay, so what next? I said, please, I see biscuits all over. I beg you, if you won't chew it, can I take some? So why not? So you see their success in this. If I win, I'm the boys, I'm the boys. And I took tissue, put it inside, wrap it. Say thank you. I was hungry. By the time I realized I was chewing a biscuit in front of them. Oh, Jack, I know I won't come here again.
And you make crowns here,
and then they said I should go and write an attitude test. Guess what? a staff has been fired. Type dismissal letter. I put my letter down, my biscuit down. Thank you. Because I could recite my dismissal letter. I typed it word to word. The National Theatre dismissal letter. That is what I typed and gave it to them. That was, I think, on a Wednesday. Friday, Pat called that they said I should bring my certificate. I said, okay, I should leave it at the reception too, and at the Yenya and Family Bureau. That was in, I think, November 1988. November. December, I was there. Pat called. Hey, appointment letter better had 3 days. Now what then you? What better letter on? See then your appointment letter. Your file was civil aviation. Blah. Hey. That day, I walked from North Kanishi
to airport,
barefooted with my shoes on my head. And I asked Pat, Sikani you're saying? I remember 300 Ghana cedis, 1998.
Hey, 3 million.
Hey, we won't be the account cramming. I cried from that North Kanishi. I was so confused. And I go to the reception and they called Pat. They said, I should come upstairs. Lift the cramming through be that. Hey! I went. You know, I'm a bit dramatic sometimes. They said, "Me what to for Pat? Hey, Pat, why you? They say start work Monday. Hey, do this orientation." Charlie, my brother, sister.
Wow.
That month, I didn't spend a penny. That was January. January ended. I started work 1st January. I took all the money and I didn't even announce it at church. So during offertory time, I just dipped it into the pool. And that day at church, everybody realized there was something wrong with me. Because I you know those days we don't have altars. So the bowl and Asaase daso. You know, so there was a queue. Everybody didn't understand. I cried. That day I was playing there, I couldn't play again. I just took my bag and I went home. Chalaka di medi. This king na koye collection. But when I go to church, when I go to work, there's a staff bath. You go to work. I was in the project department. The contractors come, small envelope, some $1. Where did he? In January, February, my daughter was having the 3rd birthday or the 4th birthday. And the 3 days the birthday.
Wow.
One thing of me, you should go guy so so I could did. Yeah, pray.
Milk no na you know.
Aye, your phone is your crank count.
That's right.
And catch enough. I mean, that was.
My friend is Soakins in Pampa. In Pampa.
You know, I cut my hair down, and I started life all over again.
Wow. It
was refreshing.
I mean, for those of you who are just joining, I mean, this is the Asaase Breakfast Show. The woman we are talking to on Boss Lady CEO is Felicia Edem Attipoe. She's the Municipal Chief Executive of Tema West, and she's told us about her beginnings through the very deep points until now, where she's now encountered some form of respite. The main tool which became the intervention for her respite was that very tool that put her into a place of sorrow prior to that point, and that was her letter of dismissal, which became the very tool she used to gain this new job. Now you have a new job. You're working at Ghana Civil Aviation Authority. At this time, it wasn't separated from the Ghana Airport Company Limited.
It wasn't separated. So
it was a single institution.
Yes, it's a single institution. And so I was a secretary. And, you know, I did what I wanted to do. You know, when I was growing up, when I was in school, I wanted to be a secretary. So that was how I started. Now, Charlie, young girl, start life. The man, have to marry. Start. That period was fun for me because now those lives I had to enjoy. After school, I couldn't. So I started life. Moved in with my daughter, gave my daughter a very good school, and then life started. And then 2023, I got married. I got married to a very big man in the society.
That's right.
So he was a politician, and everything was going well. And then later he became an ambassador to a country. Charlie, when you see me, you can't look at me twice.
So at the time you got married to him, he wasn't an ambassador yet?
No, he was an MP, and then he became she was minister.
Okay, yeah. All right.
You can't look at me twice. I wear wig and wear it again.
That's right.
Today I come to work with this car, tomorrow another car.
Show them.
Thank you. I have somebody who actually weave kente for me. I have my seamstress I pay every month. He doesn't sew for anybody.
Hey, what high seamstress, no?
Charlie. So, Charlie, we're going for cocktail at 6 p.m. Get me something to wear. And on point. I mean, that was kind of life. I met kings, I met queens, I met high class people. Even though I was working, and you call me when I'm in the US. I've accompanied the first lady somewhere. Just say, you see, I'm very creative too, and I always want to make good use of whatever I have
the space
in a very special way. So even though I was a wife, I try so much to engage myself because I've always wanted to be a politician. So we went out. 7 years, everything came down. I lost my marriage. I lost everything. So I call my story from grace to grass, not grass to grace. I wasn't. I lost. I to ground zero. The mistake I did was I never saved. I didn't have any property. I didn't have anything.
You were fully dependent.
Thank you.
And spending everything you earned.
Spending everything I earned. Nothing. So when I came down, I had my son. My daughter was there. She was in school. She because I was leaving, she had to join the father. And things started being rough. Hey.
So you went back to Trotro?
I don't have anything. So I had to move out from the house. And I moved in with my cousin who was first staying with me. And now she was married. So I had to move. And I was sleeping in a hall at Committee 2. Every time. And I'm taking leave without pay. So I don't have job. And every time I walk from Committee 2 to the beach at Sakumono and sit there from 11 p.m. to like 3 a.m. waiting for Mami Water to just come and take me away. How are you going to tell your story? What happened? Why? Where did I go wrong? Mami Water too won't come. They say sometimes when you go and you even throw coins in the sea, I mean, something will come out. I did all that. At least, something should come to take me away. And then I went to my brother and I told my brother that I wanted to do business because I was hungry. My brother gave me Felicia Edem Attipoe. I mean, everywhere I mention his name. He gave me 200 cedis check. I went for 200 cedis. I started cocoa business. Wheat, Tom Brown, oats, Oblayo, Equake baby. Because anytime I'll go to the airport to beg them to take me back, and government has changed. So take your time. Take your time. So when I go, my friends, me the cocoa buy, then they will buy. So I started packaging it. Just around the time Cocoa King also started. So my package was similar to Cocoa King, but I was more intentional about the packaging because I'd gone out and I've been exposed to certain things.
Yeah.
So I started selling wheat strawberry cream. Somebody you ask now, car went to a workshop, and then I moved from my office to office. My own colleagues buying my product. Someone wondering what is happening. And it was terrible. Sometimes I had to put the ice chest. So my ex-husband collected his car from me. So I was taking trotro. So the taxi rank, the trotro drivers were my friends, the mates. So they reserved the front seat too for me. And I put the ice chest on it. And I'll sit there. When I get to airport roundabout, I put the ice chest on my head. I said, Jesus, may I never go through this again. This humiliation is too much for me. It's too much for me. It's too much.
So, I mean, you've gone through like different undulating parts in life, and now you were at another low.
Too much.
But you were recovering at this point. At what point? Just so that we can look at other aspects of your life. I mean, we can spend about 4 hours to talk about you. You know, at what point were you able to make that recovery, this second time recovery?
Okay, so just when I was selling, airport is such that you can't just go and be selling. So it's illegal. I mean, it's not right.
Yeah.
You don't do it. And I knew it, so I was hiding. Then one day I went to my former boss. So this is what I'm doing. He said, okay, fine. You can come and sell at the transport. So then another manager came and he humiliated me in front of my colleagues who had just come from the bus. I couldn't stand it anymore, so I went to the HR director. Mr. Tego, I greet you. That man is a wonderful man, Robert Tego. I cried. Say, I want my job back. I'm hungry. What is it? Nobody knew the things I was going through. It's somebody that said my husband has left me. Oh, Felicia, didn't tell me. I said, yes, I'm hungry. I want my job back. He said, no problem. That was when I got my job back. But unfortunately, I couldn't go as a secretary, but I went as secretary at the ramp.
Okay. So now you were working at the ramp.
I working as a secretary and going through my divorce cases. So that was where I was. And I go to work, and the ramp, they were all men. And their reports and everything they are filing, they did it by themselves. So you go to work, either sleep or do Facebook. You put one sorry for a bag. I said, no, I can't be doing this to myself. I've gone to the university to do photography, PR. I moved my what do you call it? I moved my grades to African University of AUCC.
AUCC, African University College.
I was still going to school, going through all this mess. So when I go to school, no matter, because 2 a.m. I had to go and sell. So I was telling them that so they call me certain names and they do add So I said, no, I can't continue like this. I need something to do. So one day I was going out there and I saw a guy marshalling. Like this. I said, anyway, they sent me to me. Why not? I can come and stand there. I'll do something.
They didn't know that you used to wave the little, I mean,
they didn't know.
In Ola Girls.
In Ola Girls, they didn't know. So I went to see my director, Mr. Hansen Edu. He was sort of out. I went to cry and he told him my stories. And then I told him I want to do marshalling. He said, do you know what you're saying? I said, yes, sir. Okay, let's see. And every 2 years we have people from outside coming to, train.
Train.
Like review the license. So they came.
For the benefit of our listeners who may not know what marshalling is, what is it?
Marshalling is, first of all, you see the people marshalling the aircraft. Sorry.
So those who direct it,
that is to the bay. Okay. I mean, you see them with the bats.
Yes.
And then the second thing is also, we take care of the ramp. You have to go for inspection on the runway, the taxiway, the maneuvering apron, make sure that everything is safe. Because even a pin can cause
an accident.
And then we also make sure that every security, everything is adhered to. I mean, the speed limits and all that. You have to know the lights. You have to know your lights. You have to know everything. It's a very detailed job. When you go to the airport, you see the fit, the monitors where we put in the display, the times and everything. We communicate with control tower. They give us the ETA. We put into the fit. We take data of billing the aircraft as well. And we talk on radios. We communicate with everybody. When an aircraft is coming, a bay is allocated. You have to make sure the bay is safe. So that is what they were doing. But I was seeing them only doing the marshalling and talking on radio. Echo Alpha, Tango, Roger. This one I can do. The training started. Hey. And yes, how? You should know your physics, your maths, calculation of the wind. You couldn't in the clouds.
Did you do some geography in SS?
I didn't do geography. I didn't math. I didn't like. So we did the exams. The first one, I failed with some guys. Yeah, we all failed. The second one, Asaase.
Hey,
Charlie. And then my boss said, Charlie, the following day, Bronini cool. So if you don't hurry up. That night, I sat in my room, reading and crying, learning, going back to maths, how to calculate. All I needed was 50%. I knew I had like 49, but Bronini pardoned me. So I had to work hard, and I passed. And then I started. When you pass through, you are now coming to do the marshalling. You stand there and you see an aircraft coming, and the pilot, he depends on you. Sometimes like put the bat down and run away. All sort of things come into your mind. See a very big aircraft coming, and then you are directing it. You are the eye of the pilot on the ground. You run away, and that was where I got to be the first aircraft female. And now we have 15 other women.
Wow.
On the field.
You blazed the trail.
Yes. Then, I then should do politics. I married a politician.
Yeah.
So I was an honorable's wife. You turned to be honorable.
That's right. Ogama Dam at the top.
Ogama Dam at the top. Giddy, 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 giddy. I started politics. And then I went to it. But when I was doing politics, the reason why I wanted to do politics was to use my story in a certain way to empower women and get them into politics. I'm a single mom, and when we started, I realized most of the women who really want, young women or other women, not corporate, who really want to do politics, some of them want a cool head out of home. Boy, you see, he comes to sit down, make noise, get pack of food. They pack, they take it home. 3 days in dinner. So I got them together, started empowering them, telling them what to do. Let's do it. I had an adult education school, teach them how to read and write so that when you go to the bank, you can write 1,100 and something CDs. So I had an adult education. I had 2 women who tried to write the BECE. One went in and said, Madam, Abremi Introbio. The other also said, Paper, but it gave me, that they can read, they can write, how to dress, how to have that confidence, financial confidence, economic, everything. So I had a lot of women coming in. the women who follow us and be making noise, some have not even hold a mic before. I give them the opportunity to hold the mic and they are shaking. So I use politics to do that. So and also had an NGO, Let Single Parents Know. And I always say that when it comes to Christmas, it's about the widows, it's about the street children. But we, the single parents, nobody mind us. We are born in your fair, we are married, and our husbands have sacked us, so it's our fault. So I get all those women together and then we hit on the road. And I became the woman organizer for Tema West. It was rough. I became hypertensive because of that position. And that story is yet to come.
Wow. You know what? I'll let Nanaya. I don't know what else she's going to say, but Nanaya is going to talk to you a bit, especially about some of this more recent times that you've been working at this stage. Yeah. Nana?
Well, I mean, as you say, where to start? Because one can just listen to you endlessly, Felicia. But if you see the stream of comments coming in on Facebook, it kind of speaks to why you're the perfect person to have entered politics, particularly from the point of view of being a women's organizer. There is no experience that a woman has gone through in life probably that you have not experienced at some point in time. But it's a very curious thing. Being such a self-willed, strong person, with all the setbacks with, young age, early pregnancy, you're sacking from the National Theatre, you're coming back from that, you making a career for yourself, you making what seemed like the perfect marriage. One can understand a little bit about the thing of you didn't particularly think of the idea of saving. You didn't put anything aside. So when your marriage ended, you found yourself at rock bottom. But what was it that attracted such a strong, beautiful, capable woman like yourself to go into a marriage which elsewhere you've described as abusive? What attracted you to that kind of person?
Well, the issue was that, at that age, I'm married at 28. I felt that I should get married.
What sort of age were you?
28. So I should get married, and I had a child. So I should get somebody who can complement me. And I'm a very strong-willed person. Very, very strong-willed person. So I know the sort of man I want. I want a man who could calm me down. Yes, and I'm the extreme. When I love you to the end. Okay, so I wouldn't say my ex-husband is a bad man, but along the line it just didn't work out. I had my plans, he had his plan, and I realized that his type of woman, the type of woman he wants, that wasn't what I want to be. So, and he had a life. That was one of the mistakes I did. I looked at marriage. I was looking at the marriage of my parents. My mother was the one who was ruling everything. My father was the quiet type. I never knew that my father was giving my mother chop money until my father died, because it was my mother who was giving the checkbook, go and pay your fees, go and do everything. So everything was my mom. So I have that everything I have to do it. So I think that I was young and I couldn't weigh that, and so that was one of the reasons why it didn't work out as promised. Of course, we all had our challenges and it was terrible, but then I felt that it just didn't work out and I had to move on because I was young, and I felt that look, I should move on, so I walked out.
But looking back on yourself, that young woman that you were then, suddenly having gone through this up, down thing that you did, what words would you have said to your younger self then about how you thought they should have shaped their life or moved forward? What would you want to say to your younger self?
If I see my young self, first of all, I would say you've done well, even though things didn't work out. I like the way you have picked up, but be patient. Take it easy. My son will say, one step at a time. I think that growing up, I had so much on my plate, and I wanted to do everything at a particular time. And I'm somebody, if I want to do it, unless I don't want to do it, I will make it happen. But as you are growing, you realize that it's not what you want that you have to do. Just take your time and be focused and take it easy. Because I believe that in my marriage, again, if certain things if I'd taken my time and taken it easy, I believe that things would have gone certain ways. But I'm too hot-blooded. I just can't take it. Look, I have to move. That was what was happening, and I think sometimes I feel I should slow down.
So the lesson is jigbody.
Jigbody, exactly. Patience. Yeah. Patience. Because I have the focus, I have the energy, but sometimes take your time.
And now, as you said, you're in a position where you're also trying to encourage women to build up some of that confidence that somehow comes naturally to you, or that you somehow are able to build off from some kind of wellspring of energy or grace or something that there is in you that allows you to do that naturally. It doesn't necessarily come naturally to these other women.
No.
And the political thing is a particularly difficult one, because we all know the things that are said about women entering politics. You've talked about particularly the problems of single women and the way people paint your character, the stereotypes that are thrown at you, particularly in the setting that we have now. A lot of people say in the current political dispensation we have, the whole business of women, representation of women, people do not take it very seriously. What signs can you see happening that is about to change, or what do you say to young women who maybe have something burning they want to talk about but will never stand up in public and talk about it?
You see, when I started talking, there's healing. When I started talking, and talking in two ways. If you want to heal, you know how to talk. If you are bitter and you want to vent, you know how to talk. At a point, I was so bitter. So by the time, if I sit here, by the time I finish, I mean, you don't get anything positive from me. I'll run my ex-husband down. I'll run everything down, talk bitterly. I was in that state. But when I realized that I needed healing, why don't you look at the positive side of your marriage? Why don't you look at the positive side of the man? Why don't you look at your mistake too as well? So at a stage when I'm talking to you, you realize that you enjoy listening to me because I am talking not out of pain and not out of bitterness, but out something that you all can learn from, and it's exciting to hear. So then I realized that, okay, I can do that. So I started talking, telling my story in a funny way and everything, you know, the lessons I have learned, the mistakes I have done. So I started from that, accepting my mistake. Yes, my marriage didn't work out. Then you also have a problem. Your problem. And I quite remember one time my ex-husband told me something, and when I was in the healing process, that is what I used to heal myself. He told me that every time you are blaming people for your problems, stop blaming people and work at yourself. And at that time I couldn't listen. I didn't listen because I was so bitter, venting, doing all sort of things. But when I sat down, yeah, it's true. I also had my flaws. So
we're all human.
Come again?
We're all human.
We are all human.
Yeah.
So let's start from there. So when I meet these women, I tell them, tell me your story. They tell you your story, so bitter. I said, no, we'll take it one at a time. And then everybody goes smiling. I tell them, look, I've also been in your shoes. I understand the pain you are going through. But in my case, it was when I got married. That was the first time I had my passport and I traveled. Anyabia, he's giving you that exposure. Anyabia, he's made you reason with kings and queens, had tea with a queen. You understand? Met the Japanese emperor, met this, traveled wide. So why would you always go running him down? No. Look at the positive side of it.
Wow.
And then we move on. So I am healed. So why can't you be healed too? So that is what has kept me up to now.
Wow, Felicia. It's been such the time has gone fast. It's gone so fast. Like, time is up now. I mean, I've not really asked you a question, so I've just led you to tell your story. Maybe some other time I can find time to spend to ask you a few more questions. But I mean, people are wondering, when were you born? Just your date. The date of.
I'm not sure of my age.
No, we are not interested in your age. It's the date.
21st April, Monday.
21st April. Okay. So the predictors got it right. So you're a Taurus, right? And so it says, you see, what's the sign for such a person? Her sign is more likely this person is likely to take a 6-hour bath, followed by a luxurious Swedish massage and decadent dessert spread.
Oh dear.
You know, and you speak about how, Charlie, I have a dinner at this time, get me an outfit. When you are entering the space, we need to feel that you are coming. Bonnet.
Intentional about everything.
View this. View this. And that's Felicia Edem Attipoe, the municipal chief executive of the Tema West Municipality, fortunately gracing the Boss Lady Shio platform here on the Asaase Breakfast Show this morning. It's been such an enthralling conversation. And I think too many comments coming through that, too many. I mean, too many of them. And DJ Chifaro from Kumasi, he's kept on and it's like, this is the realest woman that you can have. Derek coming, so many of them. Time is not available for us to bring all of that to our listeners, but I want to thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I have been wanting to come and sit in Asaase. I remember I was talking to, I think, one Emmanuel, somebody.
No, see, don't stress it. Now that we have you here,
see, you are calling me.
Don't worry.
That's what
you see the way this world works. You see the way this world works. This has been our show, the Asaase Breakfast Show, the Wednesday edition. It's been interesting. A lot of positivity today, and it's been good. Nana, I've liked it.
All positive energy.
Yeah,
a lot of positive stories about women and about the ability to just get through it, live beyond it, move on. Yeah. Great thanks to Felicia Edem.
Of course. And my name is Benjamin Ofeado. I've done this together with Nanaya Mensah, the entire production team. On behalf of them, we say thank you so much for making time to join us. Join us same time tomorrow morning at 5:45 a.m. through till 10 a.m. where we bring you another episode of the Asaase Breakfast Show. Coming up is the Asaase Cafe around the country, and that will be after we bring you the news update.